Let us try to understand about what are mirrors and the types of mirrors in this video. So what is a mirror? Mirror is nothing but a glass. You all know a glass piece, but what happens to a glass piece when light falls on it? The glass piece will send the light which is falling on it. Glass piece always sends the light which falls on it. Means glass is a transparent substance. As glass is a transparent substance, it will not reflect most of the light falling on it. It allows the light to pass through it. So if you coat this glass with a substance which reflects the light back, then that becomes a mirror. So if glass is coated with silver, that becomes a mirror. But silver coating can be removed very easily, so that is the reason why after coating silver they coat a red color paint on it so that it sticks to the glass and it lasts long. So what is a mirror? A mirror is a glass on which one side a coating is done, that is silver. So how do we represent mirror? We represent mirror like this, with the coating will be represented like this. Means on any side we can give coating, this side we are giving coating, so this becomes the reflecting surface. So that's a mirror. So how many types of mirrors are there? There are two types of mirrors. What are the two types of mirrors? One is called as a plane mirror, which we are very familiar with, which will be present in all our houses. That's a plane mirror. And the other type of mirror are spherical mirrors. So let us try to understand about plane mirrors first, and what are the characteristics of the images formed by plane mirrors. Means when we see ourselves in the mirror, what are the characteristics? Let us try to understand. So what is a plane mirror? As discussed, a glass piece which is coated with silver is turning into a mirror. That's a plane mirror. Now when you stand in front of a mirror, you observe your image inside the mirror. So what are the characteristics of the image? So if this is a mirror and if this has a coating this side like this, and once someone stands here like this, you can see here inside you find an image. What kind of image is it? Can this image be caught on a screen? This image cannot be caught on a screen. So this image is called as a virtual image. This image is called as a virtual image because this image cannot be caught on a screen. Now how you are, the same way you appear inside the mirror. Yes, if your head is up, you appear in the same way inside the mirror. That's the reason this image is called as an erect image. It's a virtual and erect image that is formed inside the mirror. And now what is the size? What is your size? The same size you appear inside the mirror also. Yes. So this is called as object size and this is called as image size. So object size is equal to, or size of object. Size of object is equal to size of image. Is equal to size of image. Size of object is equal to size of image. And if you stand in front of a life-size mirror and if you start walking away from the mirror, you can see the floor also. Means most of you might have experienced this in a footwear store when you go there, and when you wear a new shoe and try to see whether it is comfortable or not, when you walk away from the mirror you can see this also. In the image you can see this also. Means what is the meaning of this? This is called as the distance of the object, or object distance. Object distance, which is represented by u, and this is called as the image. If you move this much far, your image also will be, means here inside the mirror you can see this place also. Means how you are moving far from the mirror, the same way your image is also moving far. In the sense you can see this. So this is called as, this distance is called as image distance, which is represented by v. So always object distance is equal to image distance. Object distance is equal to image distance. And the most important thing that you might have observed when you watch yourself in the mirror is, if you stand in front of the mirror and if you wave your right hand, in the mirror it appears that you are waving your left hand. Means your right becomes left inside the mirror. Everyone might have noticed it already. So what is that called as? That is called as lateral inversion. What is that? Lateral inversion. So what is lateral inversion? Right appearing left is called as lateral inversion. So what are the things which we have discussed now? These are all the characteristics of images formed by plane mirrors. Characteristics of images formed by plane mirrors. Means when you see your image in a plane mirror, what are the characteristics? The images which are formed in the plane mirror are virtual and direct. Size of the object is equal to size of the image. Object distance is equal to image distance, and all the images that are present inside the mirror are, inside the plane mirror, are laterally inverted. So these are the characteristics. Now let us try to understand about the second part, that is, we have plane mirrors as well as spherical mirrors. So what are spherical mirrors and what are the parts of the spherical mirrors? Let us try to understand here. Now sphere, we all know what is a sphere. So a ball kind of thing is called as a sphere. Now if the complete thing is made up of glass, now how plane mirror is made up of a glass, and a glass is coated with silver on one side, it becomes a plane mirror. In the same way, if there is a sphere like this sphere, if you can cut it, if you are cutting it like this is a piece, right? Now when there is a piece like this, you can coat on this side as well as this side. For plane mirror, both mean the same because it is plane. There is no change in the shape. You coat it this side, no problem, or you coat it this side, then also that doesn't make any kind of difference because it is plane mirror. But when it is a spherical mirror, you coat this side, then that becomes a one kind of mirror, and if you coat it inside, that is the blue color side, then it becomes a different kind of mirror. So let us try to understand the parts of the mirror. So what is a spherical mirror? Spherical mirror is a part of a sphere. Spherical mirror is a part, this is a sphere, from which if you cut, that becomes a spherical mirror. The first part which we need to understand here is about center of curvature. Center of curvature. So what is center of curvature? See, now when you are seeing it, here you have a sphere from which this mirror is cut. You have a sphere from which this mirror is cut. This sphere has a center. If you show the sphere like this, because this is a three-dimensional object, you cannot show it. So if you are showing it as a circle, now this has a center. Now this sphere has a center inside. So that is called as center of curvature. That is called as center of curvature. And what do you call the distance from the radius to the circumference? The distance from radius to the circumference is called as distance from center to the circumference. It is called as a radius. So the second part is called as radius of curvature. What is radius of curvature? Radius of curvature is the distance from center to the circumference, which is represented by capital R. So what is center of curvature? Center of curvature is the center of the sphere from which this mirror is cut. Okay, now this is center of curvature and radius of curvature. Now when the from the sphere, if it is cut and if you give the coating this side, on the yellow side if you give the coating, that becomes a concave mirror. So spherical mirrors, depending on the coating which side you give, the mirrors, spherical mirrors are classified as concave mirror and convex mirror. So what is concave mirror? If you give the coating on the outer side, on the yellow side if you give the coating, that is called as a concave mirror. Now you can see there are many ways in which you can imagine this. This is one, this is the one way, this is another way, this is another way. So if I am trying to draw this on board, how do I draw it? I will draw it like this. That's all. Now if I am drawing it like this, means this is represented like this. Now the outer coating, if I am giving the coating on the yellow side, it is represented like this. So concave mirror will be represented like this. So now if I give the coating on the inner side, that is the blue side, if I give the coating, that is represented like this. So this is called as concave mirror, and if I give the coating this side, this is called as a convex mirror. So two parts of the mirror we have understood just now, that is center of curvature and radius of curvature. After understanding center of curvature and radius of curvature, this part of a mirror also has a center. This curvature also has a center, means if I talking about this also has a center. That center is called as pole. That center is called as pole. Then after understanding pole, what is the other thing which we need to understand is, we understood about center of curvature, radius of curvature and pole. If there is a line like this, and if a light ray is coming from a very far of a object, if a light ray is coming from very far of an object, what kind of mirror is this? This is a concave mirror. If light ray is coming from a very far of an object, after hitting, means if it is coming from very far, it will be parallel like this. When the parallel beam of rays come from a far object, after hitting the mirror, they come and meet at one point. They come back, and means after reflection, this is, there is a very far object, from very far object parallel beam of rays are coming, after hitting the mirror they reflect and they meet at a point. That particular point is called as principal focus. That particular point is called as principal focus. So the third point which we understood is pole, and the other part is focus. What is focus? Principal focus is the point at which the reflected rays meet, represented by capital F. Pole is represented by P and principal focus is represented by capital F. Now the distance in between pole and focus is called as focal length. The distance between pole and focus is called as focal length and is represented by small f. Capital F is representing principal focus, that's a point, and focal length is the distance in between pole and focus, that's a distance. Now we have observed that this is the part of a sphere, and that sphere has a center which is called center of sphere, and this mirror has a center that is called pole. And if there is a straight line joining this pole and center, this is called as principal axis. This is called as principal axis. This is an imaginary line which is joining pole and center of curvature. Now when the rays, if this is a concave mirror, when the rays are coming like this and after reflection they come and meet here, this is principal focus, capital F, and this distance is focal length, that is small f. And this is called as radius of curvature. The distance between center and pole is called as radius of curvature. We have discussed already. So this, that is center of curvature and pole, is called radius of curvature. You have focus somewhere here, and this distance is called as focal length. And radius of curvature and focal length has a relation. What is it? Radius is twice of this, so r is equal to 2f. R is equal to 2f. So radius of curvature is twice of the focal length. Now if radius of curvature is given as 20 centimeters, and if they ask you what is the focal length, radius of curvature is given as 20 centimeters, what is the focal length? R is equal to twice of focal length, then f is equal to r by 2. So focal length is equal to 10 centimeters. So center of curvature, radius of curvature, pole, principal focus, focal length, then principal axis, and one more part is where is the light coming from. So the diameter through which the light comes into the mirror is called as aperture. The diameter of the spherical mirror through which the light is coming is called as the aperture. So these are the parts of the mirror.